Good morning, class. So we are going to study about the external trade. Yesterday we have completed about the internal. So it is a trade. So business studies, in that we were studying trade of chapter 1. Okay. So in trade we have seen there are two classifications of trade. One was internal. So we have seen internal trade. That was also classified into two. Okay. So that was classified into wholesale . Then retail trade. So we have already seen these two, or we have already discussed about it yesterday. Now today we are going to discuss about the external trade. So what is that external trade or what is external trade is? So external trade is the trade which is done beyond the geographical limit of the country. Okay, that is known as external trade, or it is also said as, or it is also called as, when the business, there is a transaction between the two countries, or when you are doing business in which different countries are involved, or you are crossing the geographical boundaries of the country, that is known as your external trade. So in external trade, that is also divided into three, or we can say there is what the functions which we perform in the external trade, that is export. Then second one, import. Then third, entry. Okay, these three functions we perform. So first one, which is when, what is export? So export, when we sell goods and services to different countries, or from when we earn money. Okay, when we are selling our goods and services to different part of the country, we are not calling, we are selling our goods, our produced goods to different countries, or to the, like suppose, for example, if I say, suppose this is India. This is India, and this is USA, Russia, China. Okay, different countries are there. So goods are being transferred from India to different parts of the country, different countries. So when goods are produced here and sold to the different countries, then it is called export. So here's goods are going out from the country, and what return you are getting? You are getting money. Okay, that is your export. What is import? Import, when you call or when you ask for different goods, like suppose recently India purchased Rafale. Okay, so that Rafale is from where? From France. Okay, and what we did not make that thing. Okay, we imported that thing. We purchased it from the France. So now what happened? Here we are getting the amount. So here we are getting the products and services from the different country. So when we are calling, or any kind of good, any kind of capital goods, or any kind of consumer goods, when we are calling it from outside, okay, or any services which we are acquiring from outside world, or any of the countries which is there in the world, so that imposition or that calling of goods, that is known as import. Okay, so when we purchase goods here, export means we are selling. Okay, here sale is there. Okay, and here purchase is there. So when we purchase different goods from the different countries, that is known as import. Now, what is this entry port? So entry port means calling for goods, or you say purchase of good, not for the country uses to, it is rather to sell to other countries. So in this case, what happens? See, this is our country India, this is Nepal, and this is USA. Okay. Suppose this is I for India, N for Nepal. Okay. Now, suppose this goods, okay, we are asking or we are importing any good. Okay, the import of good is there not for consumption, is for sale to other countries. So we ask for some goods like train and all. We ask from the USA. Okay, and what happened? We have not asked here for our uses. Rather than we sell it to Nepal. Okay, so we called for the goods. We purchased the good from USA not for our use, but to give it to Nepal. So what we are doing, we are just calling good from here and we are sending it to Nepal. So we are just a mediator here. Simple. Okay. Again, you understand. Suppose here what in Nepal is fully surrounded with the mountains. Okay. The crane work there which is required, or that JCB and all whatever is required, that is mostly required in Nepal. So what we are having sufficient amounts of goods with us. Okay, we need not to call any goods from outside, capital goods. Okay, like JCB and that, or machinery and all. So what here India is purchasing that good. Okay, but not for consumption for itself. And that good is again exported to Nepal. So we are importing good to export. That is your entry port piece. So again, we have seen trade under trade. There are two classifications. That is internal trade and external trade. Internal trade is divided into two: wholesale, the person who deals in a large scale quantity goods, that directly purchase from the manufacturers and give the goods on the credit basis to the traders. Retailers. Retailers are the person. Retail trade is that deals in the variety of goods and services, and they deal in a small quantity of products. That these are the retail trades. Retail, you can find the shops near your houses. That is your retail. Okay, and then we are talking about the external trade. External trade is when we do the business with the different outside of the geographical boundary of the country. Then it is known as external trade. Then external trade is classified into three. That is export, import, and entry port. Export, when we sell our goods to different country. In that case, what happens? That is export is there. The goods from our produced goods are moving out. Okay. Import means when we don't have any particular kind of goods or machinery, we want to import it, or we want for consumption, we require that goods. So when we are doing so, that import is there and we are calling for the goods. Okay. So in that case, we purchase them. Or entry port, we import goods not for consumption, it's for export. Okay, so when we purchase a good and export it to different country or different countries, okay, so then that is called as entry. So now we are going to study about the aids to trade. Okay, aids to trade or auxiliaries to trade. This means that these are the services which help, or these are the activities which help the smooth flow of trade. Okay, so in this, because of these activities or aids to trade, that buying and selling of goods becomes more easier, or that the whatever services that comes under the aids to trade, that constitute and that makes a tertiary sector, or that is also known as service sector. So we'll see one by one what are the different aids to trade are. First, communication. And transportation. See, transportation and communication are the very important things. Goods are being produced in one place and it is scattered, the customers are scattered in the different parts of the country. The goods need to be distributed from one place to another. Okay, and even the raw material which is required in the company, that is also, or in the factory, that is also required to be gathered from one place to factory place. Okay, so raw material does not produce in the locality where the factory is there. So it may be possible that raw material is produced in the different parts of the country, and that is also come to the factory by the help of transportation only. So transportation is a very important part of this institute trade. It is very useful because different goods and services distributed from here to here to there. And so what I told you, even the goods and even the laborers, those who are living here and there, they also need to be transported. So then it means that the transportation is the very important part in the institute trade. Even the communication, without communication you cannot transfer any goods from here to there. The communication helps to share the information between the customers, between the traders, between the manufacturers, or different groups of people, those who are there or those who are involved in the service or in the process of this activity. So this communication is also that helps a lot for sharing the information, what is required, what is not required. You simply think, without communication, how can you send the goods from one place to another? If someone is not asking for the good, then how can you send that good to the other place without any information? So there is information. You are a small business. When you lack for some of the good, okay, when your stock is empty, what do you say? You call to manufacturer or the wholesaler, sir, my stock is. So when your stock is ever, what do you say? He says that, sir, I will be sending that product within 2 or 3 days, or by that time what do you see the alternatives, or you see the different options from where you can get that product. So these things are there. What happens or how happens? Then too you talk with the other person, you try to get your product. So these are happening how? By the way of communication. So this is also a very important thing. Now we talk about the second point, that is banking and finance. Okay, banking and finance. So banking helps in smooth transferring or exchange. Okay, like your money, if you are selling goods to somebody and the person wants to deposit money in your bank account, wherever he or she is, from anywhere, any of the place, he or she can deposit the money in your account if you are a manufacturer. And if you want to give payment to anybody, you can also do so. So it's a good medium of exchange, by the check, by the bank draft, anyhow you can do the transactions. Then finance helps the business in providing the loan or credit facility. By the help of this, when the manufacturer is not having money, or is not having money for the further processes in his business, then he can go and ask for the loan and he can run his business. So this also, banking and finance also help in smoothing the function of working of the trade. Then now third one, that is insurance. Now insurance, how insurance helps? Now see, businessmen have to bear lots of risk. So here insurance sector come, or insurance companies come and say they bear some of the business losses or business risk on behalf of businessmen. Okay. For that, what you need to do, you need to pay the premium, and on the premium on behalf of a premium, you get insured. So your insurance help you to meet your certain type of, or whenever the risk is there in your business, or some type of natural loss is there, then in that case, or personal loss like human made loss is there, then in that case you can be saved from that risk, like natural risk like flood, fire, or anything. Okay, earthquake. So if the landslide, if something is happening to your firm or your products or stock of goods which you have kept in a particular place, due to flood it becomes damaged. Okay, so if something damaged, then how the money is going to come, how you are going to recover that. In that case, insurance companies. Insurance will pay you the loss, how much you have taken, how much you are insured for. Okay. If you are insured for 10 lakh and your loss is for 10 lakh, then you will be getting 10 lakh. Okay. Then, so this is the insurance company who bears the risk. That company says you do your production, we are there to bear a risk, and human made loss like theft, like stealing and all, accidents, different thing happens in the good. So in that case, the insurance company also bear the loss on the behalf of business company. That company compensate to the business. So in that case, the businessman gets the compensation of his loss from the insurance company. Now if we talk about the warehousing. What is warehousing? Warehousing is a place where you can keep a large amount of your stock which you have produced in a stock form. Okay, or large amount of goods in a stock form, so you can use it on later, so you can use it for a later use. Or later, when the demand is later on in the market, you can take out from the stock and you can sell in the market. So, suppose for example, even the farmer who is producing wheat and rice, he is also having a small godown or small place where he can keep his stock. Or even in your house, you can keep that some amount of rice and wheat in your house as in stock. So, what do you do so? Why you do so? Because you cannot consume that product at once. Okay, so here warehouses where a person comes or warehousing comes, that facilitate manufacturer. So to just focus manufacturer on the production facilities, rest all the burdens of the keeping stock or keeping the product safe are bear by the warehouse. Okay, they ask manufacturer, they will be taking the care of their product. You just keep on focusing on the production process, and rest all the functions like advertisement, sale of the products, these all are done by the warehousing process. Fine. So this is a warehouse. So last one is advertising. Now what is advertising? Whenever producer is producing a new product, so how the customer is going to know that this product is there, we can use this, what are the uses, these all done by the advertising. You see the different advertisements of the different kind of goods, how to use them, what are the work of those goods, how you get the information from. That all informations are passed by the advertising company. Okay, Lux is there, Hamam is there. Okay, if I ask what is the purpose of Lux soap, then you will be easily able to tell. What is the purpose of Nirma detergent, Nirma washing powder, Nirma, I suppose you people know that. Okay, fine. So that is there. Nirma washing powder is there. And you know what is the work of the Nirma washing powder. Even the Ghadi surf is there. Or different advertisement is there. Then LIC's advertisement is there. Or many more advertisements are there. Okay, numerous numbers of advertisements are there. So if you want to get the information for any produced product or new innovated product from where you are getting that information, that is advertising. If producers or manufacturers produces a new item and they want to give the information to the consumers that we have produced a new product and this is how you can use it, and this is the place that product is more efficient, and this is how you are going to use it, and this is how you are not going to use it, that is the advantages, disadvantages, all are explained in the advertising, or all are explained by the advertisement company of the company for that product. Okay. So information, whatever information are regarding with the product are there, that is informed by or advertised by the advertising company, so that consumer can know the product. Okay. So this is all for today. We will meet up in next class. Thank you.